motherboard documentation video for Lenovo Legion. I found someone else who had a same issue as me. Let's scroll up on this old computer. So I'm pretty sure that is the same one. Lenovo Legion T5 26 AMR5. Because their pictures look the same. So if it's not that exact one, then they also had this was on the back of here. I had to very carefully take it off with a heat gun and the guitar picks on an iFixit kit, and very, very slowly get the adhesive to let go so as to not damage the motherboard in the process. But yeah, this is what's on this motherboard, and I'll include all the markings on the motherboard. There is a number on it. Of course, I'm using my computer space right now, and I have my spare computer set up. So, but it is a Ryzen 5. It's an AM4 socket, as you can see, Ryzen 5 3600. But in terms of what is physically compatible with the Noctua mounting, it uses the Intel spacers. That's the IMB3 instead of the AMB. I for Intel, I'm guessing an A for AMD. Now, I probably have everything I need here. The reason I am making this video is basically to help improve available support and documentation for Noctua, so I can get this installed. So, since I'm using Intel mounting hardware, something I'm not clear on, and I don't want to damage anything, is what spacers do I use? These are the spacers, or some of the spacers that came for Intel, and then you have the gray ones and the white ones. Now, the mounting instructions say for AM4, use gray. This is an AM4 chipset, or a socket, and that is an AM4 chip, the Ryzen 5 3600. But the only physically compatible mounting hardware is this. I kludged it together. This Secure Firm 2 that's meant for Intel. And because there's no plastic spacer riser cutout there, I kind of kludged together this couple layers of non-conductive double-sided foam tape. As you can see, I have it a little thicker than those spacers, but this is foam, so it'll compress. And that's my kludged together way to get this to distribute force all along here, and have it evenly press on the back of the motherboard and not, damage something because it's only pressing on the 4 holes. Just like with this, it's evenly pushing on all that area, so I want to get as close to that as possible. So, non-ideal, it'll probably work. So what I would like to see from Noctua is maybe a spacer plate or a spare one of these with some adhesive tape if you run into this kind of situation where it's an AMD chip on an Intel mounting hole scenario. That's kind of non-standard. Or at least more clear instructions on which of the spacers to use in this situation. Because it's still an AMD chip, but I'm using the Intel mounting hardware, so I'm left uncertain as to which spacers I need to get the proper amount of distance from the CPU die and the proper amount of pressure when mounting onto the CPU. So I'm not going too light and have bad thermal transfer, and not going too heavy and potentially putting too much stress on the motherboard or chip.